Hi, Carol.
Are we the only three?
Yep, we're the only three.
So then I'll just move over here to him.
Sure, why don't you? I'm not even changing my nameplate.
Here, I'll give you your.
All right, thank you. In case somebody walks in.
Carol, I got your message. Up there in the car.
Okay, great. I've been doing all this yard work and I have this one
Okay,
area.
we're on recording now,
Oh,
guys.
sorry.
Okay, review and approval of the minutes from our May 21st meeting. Everybody happy with those minutes? Raise your hand. Okay, 3 approve. And no public comment. Nobody's here, unfortunately. Announcements are in the agenda, so I'm not going to go over those. And let's see. Okay, the Wayne Business Association Fall Festival. That will be the 21st of September. Melissa is asking for us to vote on that whether we're going to have a table or not. I think we should. What do you guys think?
Definitely,
Okay.
I definitely agree. I mean, I worked it last year. I thought it was definitely worth going to.
Good. Okay. And I was thinking of offering more food. I believe it was Donnell or Lisa brought apples last time, and they're always a hit. I was also thinking some cold bottled water. That attracts attention.
The problem with the bottled water is it's plastic. And so
We're
that kind of,
killed by our own.
and there's enough other booths
values.
that are giving away water.
Yeah, but how do we attract people? We need to get them over. We could have lemonade. Could we have lemonade and paper cups? Yeah. All right, how about lemonade, paper cups? I've got a urn that is used for coffee, but I can cover the Maxwell House label and make it more lemonade-y. Okay. We could also sell the idea of the eco-friendly yard program.
We gave out seed packets. You know, we gave out the sunflower
seed
seeds.
packets. Yes. Okay, so we can advertise the RML seed library.
I'm wondering, does the library usually have a booth?
I think so.
So they'd
They
probably
do.
be talking about it there.
Well,
we-
it doesn't stop us from doing
No,
it, too.
no.
Yeah.
Double coverage.
Okay.
In fact, they were supposed to get back to me about participating in a lecture, and I need to follow up because I didn't hear.
And you have some extra perennials. I don't know what they look like in the fall. But we could have some perennials if they make it through the summer, potted in those put in the ground pots. I have some already in pots that I could transfer to compostable pots. And jumping ahead to our gas leaf blower issue, I'm thinking of buying an electric leaf blower, so I may just bring it to the table for people to try out.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Any other ideas?
I think that would, I mean, I think that
Yeah.
would work.
I have the literature stand. Okay. Any other ideas? Let me know. The Radnor Township Great American Backyard Campout. It was, had a rain date of June 14th, last Saturday. And I counted when I left at about 6:30 that night, there were 10 to 12 tents out in the field at the Willows. Margie Reinhardt, our prior chairman of the EAC, and I joined about 7 grade schoolers going through the stream, rubbing stones and catching macroinvertebrates in nets. And we got, despite the late date, we got mayfly larvae and a caddisfly larva. So it's gratifying to see them still there at this late in the season, and the fact they are there, apparently they are a good sign of the health of the stream. That's one reason why you bother these poor animals, is to get an idea how healthy the stream is. Let's see.
Speaking, I don't know if this is the right time, but speaking of health, the Fenmore Pond is filling up with that horrible algae again. And remember last
Yep.
year, we had somebody at the township who took it on. Do you
Right.
remember who that was? And they had to,
Well, that was through Tammy Cohen.
okay.
She's the director of Parks and Rec. And actually, I thought it didn't look too bad when I saw it about 10 days ago. Maybe you saw it more recently.
Well, what's happening, it's all starting again.
The algae overgrowth?
And, these big clumps, and
Yes.
it's just gonna continue until the point last year, it just was solid and
Yes.
was dying. The pond was dying.
Why
And
don't
she jumped
you-
in, but they had to bring in a big piece of equipment. What
Right.
I'm wondering is, why can't they put in one of those fountains like Eastern has that would aerate it?
Oh, does that make
Well,
for
they-
less algae?
Eastern, because I walk all up in there, Eastern is right around the corner, and it has a big pond too.
Yes, yes.
And they never had that problem, but they have a big, they have a
Yeah,
fountain that
right.
has the water, it's not moving and it's stagnating, and,
Okay, why don't you contact Tammy Cohen,
okay.
Director of Parks and Rec, and discuss that idea. Okay. Let's see, we had a bunch of action items on the EAC native plant giveaway that we held in April. Bess, you were going to be talking to Wayne Elementary School if they could photograph the native plant she donated, that you donated. I don't know. But then Sven was first to clear with Melissa Cohn. Okay. Did you do anything with Wayne Elementary School?
Yes, so I have photographs, and what we could do is pair that with the Ithan Elementary update. So we'll have before and after pictures, like I have both before and after pictures, but they'll be a little bit more dramatic, midsummer to late summer. and even in the, we'll see in the fall.
Before and
but-
after pictures.
Yes, so
Great.
so we've got progress. So,
At both ITHN and WES?
yes,
Swell.
Yeah.
There was a second action item to ask Melissa Cohn whether the photographs could be posted on the Township online news, social media, et cetera, for you to
okay.
confirm with her. Okay, great. Good job. There was also an action for you and Sven to draft a short promotional article summarizing the outcome of the giveaway. Now, in light of a lot of other ideas that you and Sven came up with at the end of this section, you may want to reconsider that. Public education, we have one more installment in the EAC lecture series that's going to be in September 16th. And the EAC lecture series from here on out are going to be both live streamed and presented in person in this room. So that is for the fall and winter and spring of 2025-26. So you have all been action to think of ideas for topics. We should start making invitations now.
Well, I have an invitation out to the library, because they
Yes.
wanted to talk about the seed library in the fall, and I need to follow up.
Great,
And I'll do it tomorrow.
all right. And the Radnor News Community Newsletter. Bess, your wonderful article, I saw the galley or proofs of it. Congratulations. So that should be coming out for the summer, I guess, issue. Good. Okay, now, regarding all your other ideas, you have a fertile mind. It's wonderful. Mosquito bucket challenge, leave the leaves, fall planting, the best time to plant, how to mulch properly, and the evasive 11 species. I think these are all great messages, and combined with your work with elementary schools.
What is the mosquito bucket challenge?
That is where you purchase a bacillus bacterium, and it'll live in the water bucket with some dead leaves, and it actually invades the mosquito larvae and kills them, infects them. So it's a natural way.
So you get a bucket and put it in your yard, and you put this in it?
Yeah.
So if I had a little pond in my yard, would it do the same thing, or would it hurt the fish?
It may not last, yeah, it might be broken down,
I'll do anything. Mosquitoes are just horrible in my yard.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be in the minutes. You shared that idea by text.
Yeah, I think Sven mentioned that first, and then, I mean, what we could do a earth-friendly tip on the webpage, since the fall might be good to do leave the leaves
Right.
alternatives.
Where do you get this mosquito bucket?
You, I think a hardware store or garden center will definitely have the bacillus. I know, it's new.
I never heard of
The details will be in the minutes.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
have a
okay.
website that,
Yeah, I think Doug Tallamy is promoting this.
Who?
Doug Tallamy the entomologist down at University of Delaware. And he's the one that, he's got a homegrown national park, and he's got a bunch of books, bringing nature home, and what's the, I can't remember, the oaks. He has a book on oaks, and how oaks are helpful for pollinators and for birds in particular, because they host an enormous amount of like caterpillars and all sorts of insect species. Yeah.
I wonder, we got your article on eco-friendly yard. Could we combine some of these? And, I mean, there could be, I don't know, mulching with, when do you mulch? You mulch in the spring or the winter or the fall? I mean, I mulch, I guess, in the spring.
Well, all the lawn companies have been going around for the last, like a month or so ago, doing all the mulching.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
definitely
spring.
spring. It might, like, there is some tree planting in the fall, and so there may be some mulching around trees that happens in the fall, and I think that perennial plantings are becoming more of a thing in the fall. It's been recommended so that they can really establish themselves and then come back with, their full strength in the spring. So, I mean, mulching, that could be a running graphic, like a little graphic that could go into the newsletter, or we could even put it as an earth-friendly tip.
Yeah, I don't know if earth-friendly tips gets that much
Traffic.
airtime.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could put it there. I just don't think people visit our website that much.
Right.
I just like this the mulch is a very clear, brief message, I think, that what not to do. And fall planting and leave the leaves, all of these are simple messages that, yeah, we could have a byline that goes into our publication. But I'd have to think of well, you guys know social media better than I do. I don't get on social media, but is there in the township social media, is there room for these one-line, or almost one-line messages?
I'd say so.
Okay.
I am not as familiar yet with how the social media in Radnor Township works. And the Radnor Conservancy
Right.
does have, like, kind of, I think, running posts. I'm more familiar with Facebook. I'm not as familiar with Instagram and whatever
Right.
else.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Somebody, one of you, meet with Molly, and I'll be with you if you'd like me to go with you. And she can explain, and I'll learn a lot as well then about what she can do and can't do and that sort of thing. That's probably the better way to go, so you walk away with a clear idea of
Would the
what you
three,
can do. Okay?
would the three of us like to Zoom with Molly Gallagher? She's the head of public communications. Okay.
And get Erin in on that too. She has a marketing background.
Well, if
Okay.
there's 4 of you, that's a
No.
quorum.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, and unfortunately, Erin, at the last minute, had work that kept her from being here. Okay, so, okay, great. Suburban life. Sven and Bess, you had Go Wild in Your Backyard, square foot by square foot. I I haven't looked online to see if it's been posted. Okay. I'll try to confirm. I'll just say Dan and Bess confirm. It's been posted. Oh, the Eco-Friendly Yard Program. We now have 30 awardees. I gave out a flag, well, I gave a flag to you since the May meeting, and I visited another home in Garrett Hill and awarded them, and there's 2 more I'm going to be visiting. It's great. We're picking up again. Okay, there are people here who cannot respond about their actions. EAC Community Survey. This, I think, certainly there's 2 parts to it. The first part is dealing with native plants and trees. The other part dealing with the gas leaf blower issue. And perhaps can we table the community survey until Sven is here to talk with you and Bess about it. The gas leak blower issue is going to be discussed further in this meeting. The seed library is up and running still, doing well?
Yes, I
That's great.
haven't been over there recently, but as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
I mean, it was up and running. What I'm hoping is that people are finding it and taking advantage of it.
Great, good. Again, congratulations, Bess, you and Lisa, for getting the Radnor Educational Foundation grant for 5 Radnor public schools to support the core areas of environmental science, life science, physical, earth science, and tech engineering. You were asking for a request for additional funding from the EAC, I presume, to supplement this award. Sorry. You want to explain further this request?
Yes, so the supplement to the funding from the Radnor Educational Foundation could just add to the library the special collection for the new steel standards, which has a whole new arm or domain in addition to the 4 domains that you talked about. There's going to be sustainability and stewardship. So the Radnor, this is an update from 2002 to the science standards. So with this new section to the science standards, starting this fall, and so the libraries are looking to create and really sort of amplify and the fact that they are transitioning to this new standards. So it is an opportunity to kind of help support this new book collection and this implementation of this new set of standards. So that is really sort of the main sort of set of points for supporting the book collection. And so we're going to be meeting next Monday with the librarians to review the grant guidelines and just review what all the summer will entail, and then how to get things up and running for the fall.
So the 2 new areas, adding on to the Steele's core areas are sustainability and
Stewardship.
stewardship.
And I can send you more of a blurb for that,
Okay,
for the minutes.
okay. Okay. Yeah, since we're not a quorum, we can't discuss the amount and whether to go forward. You are suggesting one book per school. It would be a total cost of $125 for 5 schools.
Right.
2 books per school would be twice that at $250. Okay. So we'll have to punt till our next meeting when hopefully we have a quorum. Now, talking about our next meeting, that would be July. Do you think we should have a meeting in July? I want one between July and August. Just which month do you think is the least attended?
Why don't you send out, because we haven't been having great attendance.
No.
Why don't you send out, and just because it is concerning that we need to have everyone attend,
Yep,
which works better, July or August, and then
Yeah.
have people
right.
get back to you.
Yep. Yeah, I need to ask some people whether they can continue also. Let's see. Maintenance of rain gardens. I saw Tammy Cohen at the camp out, and she is definitely has the vendor restoring all 7 rain gardens, the 3 here at the Township building and 4 at Clem McCroney Park. She would like to have perhaps a second vendor start out maintenance, long-term maintenance, and that could involve training of volunteers who would go forward and perform the long-term maintenance. So she will discuss this further with me and our EAC as the restoration is completed. Okay, gas leaf blower phase out. A lot of developments, as you saw from my emails. Let's see. I attended the Delco Sustainability Conference, a section called Nature Over Noise, how Maplewood, New Jersey successfully banned gas-powered leaf blowers. And the upshot of that meeting with the mayor of Maplewood is in the paper I gave you and also emailed everybody. And the bottom line is a noise ordinance they found for gas leaf blowers was hard to enforce. As you can imagine, somebody using a gas leaf blower above a certain decibel level is really hard to confirm unless you have an audiometer with you at a specified distance and all that. So it's easy for somebody to disavow violating the ordinance. So what they did in Maplewood in the spring of 2016, they did a pilot summer ban of electric and gas leaf blowers by landscaping companies. And so the ban went from June 1st to August 31st.
But what I was when I read that, I was curious because that's when they're all out there mowing and leaf blowing.
Well, you think about what are they? They're not leaf blowing in the summer.
Well, that's true.
They do something called spring cleanup, where there could be vestiges of leaves, like oaks push off their leaves sometimes.
So what are they
Twice.
blowing, then, the grass?
Well, there's grass clippings that go onto sidewalks, and I agree they should be put back on the lawn. And winter debris, whether it be sticks or stuff from the beds coming onto the lawn. The point is that the volume of debris and sticks and lawn clippings is nothing compared to what they encounter in the fall with all the leaves. So the idea of the summer ban is that they can manage without using a leaf blower to clean up. They can use rakes and brooms. And this ban actually was expanded in the fall of 2016, the spring of 2017, to a seasonal ban whereby commercial landscapers were banned from May 15th through September 30th. There was a big, there was actually a lawsuit brought by the Landscaping Contractors Association for New Jersey, saying that the commercial landscapers had been singled out for this ban, and in fact they were. And Maplewood broadened the ban to include residents as well as commercial landscapers, this seasonal ban. And based on, I guess, further getting feedback from the community and the level of complaints and violations, they decided to go ahead that a total year ban would be able to be tolerated by the community. And in fact, it was approved by the Township Commissioners in January of 2023. And it applies to both township residents and commercial landscaping companies. This was a ban of gas leaf blowers. So attending that is a ban requires sizable fines for it to have any teeth. The summer ban, the pilot ban, was only a $100 fine, and people tolerated paying that fine. But in 2017, the fine was increased to $500 for the first violation, $1,000 for the second, and $1,500 for subsequent violations. So this really did enforce the ban. There was also enforcement by residents who could, at least for a commercial landscaping company, if they violated the ban, their license plate could be photographed and the name of the company sent to the Code Enforcement Bureau in the township. And then the company was notified through that bureau.
Dan, did any lawn companies show up at the meeting?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So what was emerged in Maplewood was a gradual introduction of a ban that had sizable fines, and there were no financial incentives for turning in gas leaf blowers or switching to electric leaf blowers. The seasonal ban held up in court when contested by Landscaper Contractors Association, because the township widened the ban to all residents. And also Maplewood made a very strong case about the health effects of leaf blowers, and this is essential to addressing any disagreement with a ban of any nature. So their ban has been in effect and apparently is being heeded. Getting to your point, Carol, there was a demonstration of electric lawn equipment sponsored by 3 or 4 townships, local townships, Narberth, Haverford, Lower Merion, Springfield. And AGSA, the American Green Zone Alliance, organized the demonstration of electric lawn equipment, everything from leaf blowers, weed whackers, up to gigantic riding zero-turn mowers.
Can I interrupt? I'm sorry. Carol,
Yeah.
weren't you asking if any landscape companies came to the Delaware Valley, what do you call it, sustainability conference? Isn't that what
Oh,
you
the
meant?
sustainability conference. No, that was not a demo. That wasn't a,
No, she's asking did any of them come just to see what was.
No, I was,
that was, I don't know. I didn't attend in person, the Delco Sustainability Conference. Now, this AGSA presentation of equipment, which was last Saturday, was well attended, had 30 landscaping people there, representing, I don't know how many companies, maybe 20 companies that work in this area. This was at the Ludington Library in Bryn Mawr. There was limited space, so fortunately.
yeah, Kathy, that was the one I was wondering where they, if Minnie came to that one, because I was curious if they were showing any interest in looking at this equipment, because that's really our key, is to get these major lawn companies.
Yes, I know, and I would say they had room for perhaps twice as many attendees, but only 30 showed up. It's the water and the horse. But what I learned there is Villa Paloma, who is the sustainability officer at Lower Merion Township, is working on a seasonal gas leaf blower ban, much like Maplewood. And already they've put out feelers to the community and getting both positive and negative feedback. In fact, there are some people asking, why aren't you having a total ban? So they're considering widening the ban so that it goes not just from May to the end of September, but also from November to perhaps May even. So just isolating the fall months for use of gas leaf blowers. I learned some more about the lawn equipment that's available. There was an admission by the president of AGSA that the amount of the duration of work that a battery can deliver for a backpack gas blower is still limited to about 40 minutes compared to a full tank on a gas backpack blower of 60 minutes at least. So this is the main hesitation that a lot of the companies have, besides the added cost of electric equipment, is that they'll have to be switching out batteries all the time and have to buy multiple batteries because it takes time to charge them. And they can't charge them in the field. One of the companies has a solution. They have a portable charger that can charge 8 batteries and can charge the batteries in 30 minutes. These are for backpack blowers. They have a special technology that the battery does not heat up when it's delivering electricity like standard lithium batteries. So you don't have to wait for the battery to cool off before you start charging it. So they can charge a battery in 30 minutes, and that's the time that you're going to be using the second battery in your backpack blower. So you have continuous delivery of battery power during the course of the day with that model. So what I was proposing to you, and to some extent Kathy Agnew and I discussed this, was for the council to discuss ways to go forward. I'm advocating not a noise ordinance, but a seasonal ban. And in fact, that's what Lower Merion is doing. And if we did that, we could do it perhaps in concert with them.
Will Radnor Township be on board? Because it says right here they're not considering.
Where?
Well, okay, so a seasonal ban then, and just keep, and then you go back to the gas leaf blowers when the seasonal ban is up?
Well, we would have a seasonal ban basically allowing gas leaf blowers only during leaf pickup in the fall. And then let the residential and commercial communities get used to that.
Right.
And perhaps during the summer, they would be using electric blowers. So they would, as their gas blowers, maybe handhelds, wear out, they would getting electric blowers. So let the seasonal ban go for a year or two so they can have time to replace their handheld gas blowers, perhaps. And maybe experiment with a backpack. And
Would the township be on board with this? Because,
well, that's the $64,000 question.
right.
Kathy, you've already indicated that there are some council members who are interested in limiting, if not banning, gas leaf blowers.
Well, I know there's one,
Okay.
so, but as you know, I believe, anyway, that we have a policy, if not a rule, that we don't compel residents to do something that we, the township, are not doing. It seems.
Well, yes,
unfair.
and this seasonal ban would apply all sectors of
I
the
understand.
township.
So what I'm saying to you is that if the township, for example, Public Works has not made an adequate conversion, if that's the right word, or whatever, transfer to, whether it's by cost or whatever, to electric,
Right.
we'd be hard-pressed to compel citizens to do
Right.
that. So,
Right.
but it's not something that we can't work on and
Right, Ricky, I
ease
talked to
people into.
Ricky Foster, and they are working on getting electric blowers, if they haven't already.
No, okay. So on Monday, we allocated the Board of Commissioners allocated $15,000 to Public Works, no more than 15,000, somewhere between nothing and 15,000, to buy electric lawn equipment. I did encourage that they maybe spend another 1,000 or so to try to get, what do you call it, the backpack leaf blowers, or to try them out. But this is sort of though they don't like to say it's experimental, it's basically to see how it works out, if it's going to work for the Public Works Department.
Well, they would purchase these,
Yes,
yeah. They would probably be able to try out different manufacturers' products.
well, I would
at
hope
least
so. I'd
some.
hope that they would make a judicious spending
Yeah.
of the money by trying different ones.
Sure. In fact, AGSA has a comparative database of all the manufacturers on their website, and I know Ricky knows about it.
Mhm.
Well, that's encouraging because if we start the discussion at the commissioner level of a seasonal ban, and at the same time, this body, this council, put together references and an argument based on health effects to support the ban. This could be going on at the same time Public Works is purchasing a leaf blower of some kind.
Mhm.
And perhaps faced with the possibility of having a gas leaf blower ban during the summer, they would consider what they will need during the summer for their work in terms of an electric leaf blower. I mean, sure, there isn't a clear way forward, but I'm thinking that there are discussion points and considerations that I think are surmountable, and we have to work together on this.
I agree. We have to work together, including, we have to take all the different sectors into consideration. I've spoken to my constituents at different times about it, basically when I go door to door. And it was a recurring theme. Not everybody, but amongst some people that, can't we get rid of those things? But sorry?
Based on the noise
The
primarily?
noise. Yeah, usually, especially if they have small children,
Right.
nap time. Some people have children who are not well, not small children, but children who are not well.
Yes.
And it's very disruptive to them. So I'm very sympathetic. I'm also sympathetic to neighbors or constituents, whoever, who have already invested in leaf blowers. So we have to sort of balance that all and take that all into consideration and ease into it, not this is what you're all up against, this is what
Right,
you're
and
doing. We're not that kind of board of
No.
dictating to people what they have to, how they're going to be. We try to be very reasonable. So I'm hopeful that this can go forward, but it's not going to be a dictum, that's a different word in the law. It means nothing,
Well-
means nothing is what it means in the law, but
To be honest, I need to know the remit of the commissioners. It's written in stone somewhere. Are you committed to maintaining the health of the community?
well, of course they are. That's an unfair
Okay.
question. Of course we are.
Okay.
It's
Well-
just that's a,
Then I don't see a problem putting forward a request for the Board of Commissioners to consider a seasonal ban.
no
Right.
request is coming from the EAC is, it's not unreasonable. It's just,
Okay.
if you think it's going to be, we're going to say now that in September or even in August, wherever you can't use gas leaf blowers, that's not going to happen, because it's not reasonable.
Would
Oh,
you?
no, I'm not asking, whatever the pace that everybody wants to go at, we'll only go as fast as the slowest wagon here, because, yeah, it's a big deal.
Would the EAC propose a timeline, or would the Board of Commissioners?
No, the
Do
EAC
that.
would propose a timeline that we would
Okay.
take into consideration.
Okay. So 2 years, 3 years, I mean, or even,
I cannot,
okay. Okay.
You mean 2 years to enact it, you're talking about,
Mhm.
Bess?
no,
Sort of
I
Like a phasing,
I cannot speak for the board on this. I'm the
Yeah, right,
liaison. I go
right.
back to the board. I
Right.
am not the spokesperson for this.
Sure.
right?
I'm just kind of throwing it out.
Sure,
like,
I understand.
Well, what Maplewood did first was have a noise ordinance specific addressing gas leaf blowers. Above 60 decibels wasn't allowed. So in a way, that way they tipped off the whole community that there was township attention being paid to the issue. So.
But it was too difficult to enforce, though.
That's
somehow.
right, it's too difficult to force. But I see the concern that you're suddenly asking for a seasonal ban on all sectors on gas leaf blowers. And it'll be a shock to the community because we hadn't brought them up before. Whereas Maplewood with their noise ordinance had, so people were kind of made aware that the township has this level of interest to the point of having a code, an ordinance.
If you're asking me, do I favor going through a noise ordinance? No, I don't. I think noise is part of the problem.
Right.
But I consider going, personally, not for the board, personally, I consider going through a noise ordinance kind of a sneaky way to get around it, to get what you're looking for. It pits neighbors against neighbors.
Right.
You know, we're a democracy. We're not people snitching on each other, that kind of like,
Right.
calling up and creating problems. The idea behind this, or hopefully going forward, is that it's healthy it's a better situation for whoever the people are using it, whether they are neighbors or employees of independent contractors, as well as the township employees themselves, both for noise and for the inhalation of CO2s and whatever else is coming out of those motors. But to say, well, we're having this noise ordinance, and then you can call up and complain about your
Right.
neighbors, that,
No, we're on the
It's not
same
gonna
page there. I just used that example as addressing what I think is some of our hesitation or just awareness that a proposal of a seasonal ban would be maybe quite a shock to some sectors in the community. And Maplewood maybe blunted that shock because they had this ineffective noise ordinance, but that still alerted them that the township was bringing attention to gas leaf blowers. Okay. So,
I think the way to, if the commissioners, if we discuss and decide to go forward, would be for the commissioners to alert their constituents that this is what we're considering and to give us feedback. That, to me, would be the open government sort of fair way to do it.
okay.
And I will talk to my fellow commissioners about this.
Okay. Now, the EAC have been more than happy to give you a rationale for the ban based on health effects.
Sure.
So we have gotten a document before, needs to be updated. I think the three of us could draft one and have the rest of the EAC and you review it before the next meeting. Okay. All right.
And did we have that fact sheet?
And we have the fact sheet.
That's pretty succinct.
Yeah. I like to have documentation, scientific documentation of some kind.
But that does.
Sure,
that's the key point.
that's a guide to the points we should make. Okay.
Dan, Sven was, and you mentioned that, following Lower Merion's lead and working parallel with Lower Merion, who might be coordinating with them? Are you working with Lower Merion on this?
Well, we
or-
haven't actively started that.
Okay.
I just mentioned that to Villa Paloma.
I think her name is Paloma.
Paloma.
Yeah, she Yeah, they have a sustainability manager or director.
Okay.
And that, I know they may be ahead of us, but they're also having to refine their ban based on feedback from the community and from the commissioners.
Right.
And certainly, we will be getting there as well,
Right.
facing that.
Okay.
So,
It's also, if you know, and I don't, I inquired whether or not we would receive any sort of benefit on the township's workers' compensation insurance or health insurance. It doesn't look like we do, but that would actually, or it's conjectured that we may not. But that would also be something that could figure into the whole cost and savings in, like, of if the township public works should move over. If we do save money on that, that's like, okay, it's going to cost us to convert, but we're also saving this much. So that's something to consider if you know of anything like that.
are you wanting us to contact Ricky and ask about that?
Well, it wouldn't be Ricky. He wouldn't. It's not his area.
Who would I ask?
I would think Bob Tate.
Bob Tate?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. It would be great if the insurance industry had advanced to that level of,
Well, it would be good, because first of all, it's, they're hearing loss, and two, they're
right,
damage to their lungs.
yep. Right. Okay. So we'll have an action as a council to put together a health document, health impact document. And, I mean, the ordinance, I'm going to attach the ordinance, the Maplewood seasonal ordinance to the
Okay.
minutes, just so that we can see the details. They did have reference to all the health effects of gas leaf blowers in the ordinance, but you look at the bottom, there's no addendum, unfortunately. So I could perhaps
Is it sort of a
contact.
preamble to the ordinance?
Well, it was maybe an addendum, which had references concerning the health effects of gas leaf blowers, because that was the main leverage point for getting it passed. Okay. We have some other action or some other considerations that we've talked about, invasive plants, the common invasive plants. Sven brought up the municipal ordinance regarding grass height. And it's basically a weed ordinance, and the township does enforce an international property maintenance code whereby weeds and plant growth other than cultivated flowers and gardens may be no taller than 12 inches. So this is problematic if you interpret it a certain way for people who want to convert lawns to meadows, because you may not interpret a meadow as a cultivated flower garden or the code was written way before the lawn to meadow movement, and Sven has a neighbor who has to mow his meadow because it's violating the ordinance. Golf Club clear-cutting 9 acres for the broadcast center that is underway. I went by there last Saturday. And Margie Reinhardt attended at the Delco Sustainability Conference, a piece on a free market, the media's free market concept, whereby media residents bring usable stuff to give away. I guess this is housewares, clothing, that anyone can come and buy the items for free. It's almost like a trade, bartering market. So it was a way to reduce throwaway usable items. It's kind of like a flea market, I guess. And apparently the Delco has a Pennsylvania Resources Council that can give guidance and advice to townships and residents regarding zero waste and recycling. Okay. I think the current budget is in the agenda. I'm not going to go any further. Any further comment from y'all? Okay, that's a wrap.
All right.
Thank you, Ian.